How close are the Browns to being an elite team? And I know it isn't going to be easy because of who's in their division. The Ravens are going to be better because they're going to get healthy. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are young. They're only going to get better. How close is this Browns team? What does it need to be elite?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned, Dave, the caveat. I mean, you can't just say that your team is going to be good in a vacuum because they play in a division, or your team plays in a division, and in this case, the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens will be itching for a revenge tour after this year's collapse, primarily because of injury and illness. You know, they lost 6 in a row to close to finish 8 and 9 and out of the money. Who knows what the Steelers are going to look like post Roethlisberger? But we know, as you mentioned, that the Bengals and Joe Burrow are a team on the rise, and they've won the AFC North. And they have skill position players who are young and hungry and good. So they're going to be a problem going forward. But even with that, even acknowledging that the division is difficult, the Browns, I believe, can get back to, the 11-win territory, the 10-11 win territory, enough to get into the playoffs if their quarterback situation gets figured out. And the way I think it realistically gets figured out is very simple. Baker Mayfield needs to get healthy in the offseason. I don't think, as I said, realistically, you bring in any of the so-called big not so-called, but the big names like Rodgers and Wilson and even Watson. I don't think they're coming to Cleveland. Good teams hold on to good quarterbacks for a reason, because they're good. So you can't just pluck a good quarterback out of thin air off the street. You're not going to trade for him, most likely, because, again, teams will hold on to good QBs. And the draft doesn't really have a ton of QB talent this year, according to a lot of the analysts. So I believe you're, quote-unquote, stuck with Baker, and that's not bad if he's healthy. Because, remember, number 1 overall in 18. He's not some schlep you brought in 4 years ago. He's number 1 overall. He had college credentials. He won the Heisman. He had a really good rookie year. He had a really good 2020 under Stefanski and Van Pelt. So if there's anybody who could bounce back, it would be a Baker Mayfield. So he's the key really to everything in my mind. He's got to come back healthy. He has to stay healthy, and he has to play well. If he does, the rest of this team will fall into place, and I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, D-Man. They're a good passing game away from being right up there where everybody thought they were going to be this year.